If you like talking,
Women.
Ladies,
men,
topic,
Conversations.
and occasional uninformed politics,
multiple talking women is for you.
Hit it!
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, sentient animals, and objects, welcome to the Multiple Talking Women podcast. I am one of your hosts, Lana Brown.
Step right up. I'm another one of your hosts, Felicity Bramblebush.
Hear ye, I'm the producer, Paula Gherkin.
And we're here today with an incredibly luminescent guy who is a very talented actor and improviser. Gosh, this guy kind of ticks all the boxes as for different talents you could have.
Yeah.
And wow, has he been in a lot of productions? The inimitable Michael Hitchcock.
Welcome.
Thank
Welcome.
you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Thank
Wow.
you for showing up today and showing up with this tone. Can I just say the tone of your skin is
Oh,
Sun-kissed.
well, I'm a little sweaty.
No.
I'm a little sweaty. I
Well,
had
it
to walk
looks luminous.
about a half a mile to get here.
Oh, did you?
Did you walk from your house near here?
No,
Where they made me park.
This is
it
a new
was-
thing. They used to let our guests park real close, and then all of a sudden they were like, park over in the park farther away.
I don't like that very much.
Infuriating.
Well, it's good. I can shop at Trader Joe's afterwards. That's what's nice about it. I'm right there in that parking lot.
Yeah,
Oh.
we're very close to the
Yeah.
Trader
Wow.
Joe's.
Oh,
That's
you're
nice.
an optimist. I like
But
it.
what
Mhm.
are you putting on your skin? Because it is very glowy. What are you putting on there?
I put on just regular old lotion like Aveeno.
Oh.
So I don't think it's that expensive.
Is it just your natural skins is very good?
Well, you can take a look if you
Yeah,
want
no,
later.
it is good. I
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty
But
close.
but
It
even
looks
the
good.
tone and the colors.
You know what I
they're
think it is?
healthy.
You know what actually is, and this is the truth. I put on some sunscreen today, and there's a little tint in it, and that's probably what
Oh,
that.
it's
That's probably what
good.
you're
It's
thinking.
It's beautiful.
really,
It's
Yeah.
really nice.
And that happened by accident. I bought, and it had tint, and I thought I kind of like this.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
That's
So,
smart. That's
smart.
really smart.
Kind of fun.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Well,
That's smart.
Well,
and
it was a
Smart and
mistake,
fun.
but anyway.
Sometimes
But it
the
worked out.
mistakes
mistakes
turn
are
out.
gifts.
this podcast so far is going really well.
It is. It's easy.
It's going great.
I know people whose parents told them you were a mistake, but it worked out.
Oh,
And it has screwed them up. But mistakes work out.
Did your
Yeah.
parents say horrible things to you?
they did, but they never called me a mistake. So that's good.
But
I-
they did say some horrible things.
Oh, yeah, of course they did.
Really?
Yeah, but I was a breech baby, and that's true.
Oh,
that's-
So
Evil.
That
Yeah.
equals you were turned around in there?
you're turned around in there, and
Mhm.
it sounds funny, but
Feet
it's
first?
not funny because obviously the woman is going through intense pain,
Mm-hmm.
and it can also break the baby's arms.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I came out butt first. and
Oh, yeah.
Butt
Oh,
first.
butt first, and then the arms are stuck, and it's a whole.
Oh.
It's like a.
It's better than arms first. Can you imagine?
No, that would
Or
be
that would
maybe
probably
that'll
be
be
good,
better.
right?
Yeah, that's
Maybe that'll
like
be better, like
aerodynamic.
diving.
Then it's like swimming.
Yeah, swimming.
and diving.
Kinda,
Swimming.
yeah.
How many children did your mother have?
There's three of us,
Okay.
three guys. Yeah, I'm in
Oh,
the
I
middle.
like that.
I'm,
And were
I'm the
you-
Jam Brady of the family.
Were
Oh.
you the only breached one?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're the Jam Brady, but I bet you're the only celebrity of the bunch.
Yeah, I have
Yes.
one of my brothers is a lawyer. The other one works in marketing. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm the only one who's an actor writer.
Wow.
Yeah.
All
did
right.
it.
Congratulations.
You did it.
Mhm.
They never thought Jen could do it, but
Right.
look at her now.
But look at her now.
Look at her now.
Exactly.
What where did you grow up?
Oh.
Well,
Was
you
that
think,
hard- was it
you
hard
think
to
you would have
ask?
looked that up? It's right there.
No, we
on
like to
Google.
know.
Well, why I'd
Uh,
like to find out in the moment. It's more
oh.
exciting.
I was born in a town called Defiance, Ohio,
What a name for
Yeah.
a town.
because it's Fort Defiance, where
Oh.
there was a fort on top of this hill that overlooked two rivers that converged, and that's where the name came from. And it's near kind of Toledo, Ohio,
Mm.
Okay.
and Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Toledo
Mhm.
surprise. Oh yeah,
Whoa.
I've heard of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
I've never heard Toledo Surprise sung like
It's
that.
yeah. My
What's
son
that?
was in the play. It's from The Drowsy Chaperone.
Oh,
Oh.
First
Okay.
you roll the dough, then you bake the dough. You cook something and it's a Toledo surprise. I'm very
Oh,
intrigued by
geez.
Ohio
okay.
because I've never been, and there's lots of talented people from there.
It's true.
A lot of yeah.
What's
had
it
a lot of
like
people.
different from Los Angeles?
Well, it's Midwest. I mean, as a kid, it was a great place to grow up because we lived near a river, and so
Oh.
you could go down there and you could ice skate in the wintertime.
Did you get frogs
wow.
out of there when you were a kid?
Yeah, I got snakes. I had a snake for a while until like the snake kept it in the garage, but then it escaped out of its box, and so all that stuff
Yeah.
went on, and yeah,
Real
This
childhood.
sounds
a good-
very Norman Rockwell.
I caught a
it
lot of
kind of
frogs.
was, yeah. But then
Mm.
we moved in when I was in 6th grade to the Chicago suburbs,
Oh.
so it was a real change of pace
Mhm.
from growing up. Kind of small town. It wasn't that small. It was like 20,000.
Did you always have a
Oh.
lot of friends?
Yes. Have you?
No.
No, I
No,
went
this is one of her first female friends.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
How did you
no.
two meet?
Well, we both auditioned for a
Production.
Simi Valley production of Cats,
Ah.
actually. And
It was hard because we were both cast as Jollicle Cats.
Jellicle cats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, aren't they all Jellicle cats?
Yeah,
No,
but,
but we
they
didn't
were
get any
they were background.
we were
guys.
background
cats.
All right.
Mhm.
Well, at least you didn't have to say that crazy dialogue.
I guess that's actually true. Look at him.
You know what?
Bright
yeah,
side.
Bright
But we're
side,
trying.
Mr. Brightside.
Mhm.
So we've been trying to break into the business, and we heard that podcast was a good way.
They
and
probably
then
are.
she was the groundskeeper for her son's school,
Oh.
saved her son, said, "What are you doing today? Will you produce our podcast?" And that's basically the short version of why we're here.
And that's why we're here.
And so we want to
met
know.
because
Oh, tell
I was at Venice Beach and she did my caricature.
Oh,
Yeah. So that was
God,
nice.
that
The
is
only
nice.
weird thing, you loaded it though, like supposedly I love roller skating and football, and I didn't mention either one of those, but you just put them in there anyway.
Why don't I just try to make it fun? You didn't have a lot of you didn't give me much information.
Yeah, I wanted to keep it a little mysterious.
Yeah. So I
Uh-huh.
said, well, I'm gonna add some skates, I'm gonna add a football and a little helmet.
No.
And I said no charge, but you owe me one. And then here he is.
Here I am.
You are.
Did
Was
you
it
hang,
a big head and a little body?
That's
like
what
they
the
do?
caricature is.
Yeah, it's a character.
Did you
Yeah,
hang on to
except
it?
for some weirdly very long fingers, which didn't make a whole lot of
Oh.
sense.
Oh,
But-
she.
I honestly didn't think you would ever call.
It's kind of her thing.
I always wait. I wait till it's needed,
Mm.
and we needed it. We
Mm.
needed it because we needed some star power, and boy, do you have it!
Well,
Yeah,
thank you
you
so
do.
much.
You really do.
It's-
Everybody knows you. Oh, I know Michael Hitchcock. Oh, he's so funny. Oh, just saw him on this. Oh my God.
It's
Oh.
true though. It's true. You say your name.
He's
and
on
it-
everything.
and it makes people react in this way. It's
Yes.
that's what I dream of like, oh
Mm.
God,
Mhm,
That's a
mhm.
funny
love-
person.
You both sound angry about it.
No, but
No,
that
it's
is oh
They just want it so bad.
Oh,
I
well,
love him.
Wish we were
Okay.
you.
All right.
Yeah.
And before we dig into the really deep stuff, I have one question. Have you ever been
Mhm.
in a situation where, because you are either on the red carpet or on a television or movie, you
Mm.
get a bag of free stuff like swag or face creams?
Yeah, I've gotten a
Oh.
couple of them.
See, to us, that's
God,
it.
That's all we want.
That's
Yeah.
all they want.
That's the number one goal.
Although sometimes the bags aren't that great. Like one time I got a
Oh.
bag and it just had like old red vine licorice and
Oh.
a small keychain that was a rubber chicken, and that was about it.
That's
So it
sounds
really
like a-
wasn't
sounds
that
like a
great.
joke bag.
So sometimes it's
So it's
you
not
think it's going to
always-
be okay, and
We
it's
got
really kind of
invited-
like a dud.
Ah.
We got invited to do a red carpet, and I went with Lana,
Mhm.
and there was a couple of Jolly Ranchers and
Mhm.
and a Tootsie Roll in there.
Yeah, it's sort of like a crummy Halloween bag.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a real disappointment.
Oh,
Well, there
Yeah.
were some cards in there to send to people, but they were very specific.
They're
It was-
very
They were
specific
like,
because they were about suicide.
yeah.
So they were
Oh.
it was kind of sad.
mhm.
It
Oh,
was
they, you
preventing.
thinking about suicide? Here, have a Jolly Rancher.
Have a Jolly
Or
Rancher.
send a card saying, like,
Mhm.
you know,
Hey, don't give
Yeah,
up.
keep your
Right.
hopes up.
Listen, it's important. It's important.
it's very important, but I don't know who to send it to, but hopefully,
Yeah.
maybe.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So
We should give that. What is the name of that? It's called something.
choose to live.
No,
Yes, it is.
it's not called Choose to Live. It's called Something to Live. Pledge to Live or
Promise.
Oh, Promise to Live.
Promise to Live.
Promise
if you
to
want to
live.
look it
Go
up.
to promisetolive.com. Sorry that this is during your episode.
Oh, yeah.
Or not sorry, but
And you might get a Jolly Rancher. out
you
of it.
might.
You might. Yeah.
Or the thing
This
with
is a good time
choosing
for
to
me to
live,
eat a
though,
nut.
it is
Stop.
important. You don't know what's that's gonna happen down the road. So don't cut it short.
Yeah, don't cut it
Mhm.
short.
There's
Hang
a
in
God
there.
for that.
Hang in
That's
there.
what she'd say.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's dig into the juice and the Jolly Rancher. That is Michael Hitchcock. Do you have a middle initial?
I do. It's G, and it
Ooh.
stands for Gordon. And
Michael
I
Gordon
asked,
Hitchcock.
Yeah, I asked
Mm.
my parents why Gordon. Because usually it has something to do with like an uncle and they just like the name. They like MGH, so they just
Mhm.
pick Gordon out of the blue.
That's sweet.
I really is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
don't think
It's a
so.
good name. It's a
I think it
strong
actually
name.
makes it more special.
I
Mhm.
guess, except
It
I
makes
have-
it more special to not care and not choose out of? Oh, I like the name Gordon.
I think giving a name because they're based on some relative is depressing.
Oh,
And
yeah, but
coming-
both of my grandparents, both of my grandfathers, both on each side were named George,
Mm.
so it would still fit.
and Michael
Well-
George would be great. You'd be the opposite of George Michael, which
That's-
would be
yeah.
very
Hey, but
fun.
when
That
you're
would've been
born
fun.
in Defiance, you have to be a little bit defiant, don't
Oh,
you?
well,
That's
that's
true.
true.
Mhm.
All
A
right.
little
get it.
unpredictable.
That's right.
Maybe they
Mhm.
both hated their fathers and they didn't want to name.
Were
them.
they
That could be
creative
true.
people? Were they funny?
They were funny in their own way. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Dad loved to tell jokes, but Mom was kind of the funnier one. She would, it was
Mm.
more like subtle,
Mm-hmm.
and that I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what do they do for a living?
Well, this was back in,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a little older than you ladies.
Maybe not. You don't know.
My dad worked for General Motors for many, many years
Mhm.
and then was a civil engineer after that.
Mhm.
And Mom used to be a nurse and then stopped that to raise her
To take care of
kids.
the boys.
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Sure, that's how it should be.
Well,
That's
that's
a
how
job.
it was.
Well,
Yeah.
good on her.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, immediate fan.
I wish
Um,
you could meet her, but she's no longer with us.
Oh,
Well,
I'm
she's
sorry to
here.
hear that.
She's
Yeah.
here in her
Stays
way.
with
She's here in spirits.
That's
Oh,
right.
You tried
that's
to
right.
say in person, but that would have been weird.
Yeah, I did try to. But in personal spirit. My mother's died a very long time ago too.
Okay.
So anyway, where were you? Let's start at the beginning like you like to do.
Yeah, I like to know what made you go, I want to do acting, I want to be funny, I want to do stuff. How did that happen?
Weirdly, this is the truth. I belong to our family went to this church. It was
love
the
that.
First Presbyterian Church of
Mhm.
Defiance, Ohio. And the lady who ran the youth program for the guys, this wasn't a co-ed thing. It was just the boys
Mhm.
would put on marionette shows
Oh.
that had a little message to them. And I don't
Uh-huh.
remember them being real Jesus-y, but I think they must have had some kind of moral message. But the guys
Yeah.
put on a marionette show for the parents.
Whoa.
And that's sort of what I kind of got the bug
Wow.
doing
Whoa.
at church. Isn't that? And I don't know why the girls weren't involved. They had their own separate little thing.
Well, they-
And
they-
I don't know what they did, but they
kept
didn't put on
separate.
marionette
It's-
shows. Only
They were probably
only
learning
the
how to
boys.
set a table.
They
Yeah.
probably were.
and
Mhm.
bake a ham.
Yeah.
And
But
take care of
it was like Shakespeare,
Mhm.
the guys played the women part and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing. So that's what got it started. And then weirdly a magic show came to town and I got involved. I did magic as a kid and
Wow.
was very excited about that. And so that's sort of how it happened.
That's
Because
pretty
a magic show came to Defiance, Ohio.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then when after that, did you say to your parents, "Hey, I want to do plays," or did you just start doing stuff in school, whatever was offered?
Yeah, I started doing. we all did the school plays and stuff, but
Mhm.
then it didn't really start up till I moved to the Chicago suburbs. And the suburb that we landed in is a town called Western Springs, and they had
Mm.
a fantastic community theater program.
Mm.
And they
Your whole
had
family moved there?
yes, our whole family. Yeah,
Oh, how
not just
come?
me
How
because I
come?
didn't run away.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, Dad quit GM and started working
And that's
for
when you moved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He
And
grew
then-
up with parents unlike
Yeah.
you.
And
My parents left me when I was 4, so I just didn't know
Oh,
what your
no.
circumstances were.
Well,
if you
did-
were,
how
if you
did
went
you
on
end
your
up in a? Did you end up in a foster situation?
No, they
No.
left me the house.
Mhm.
Oh, they left you the house.
Yeah, she ran the house.
Well, how in the if you're 4 years old, how does that work?
I'm a smart cookie. I know what I'm doing.
Hmm.
I wasn't worried about it.
Didn't okay.
Okay.
She
All
knew
right.
how to make
So
some
you
eggs.
go there.
And now, were you a precocious child, or were you on the shy side?
I was not that precocious. I was definitely shyer,
Mm-hmm.
but I was also a trickster, which was good because you could fly under the radar and
Mm.
do tricks
Electric
and kind of
chairs.
get away from them. Most of my tricks started in high school and I would do things that weren't awful, but I would make pancakes and put them in my friends' folders. So they'd open up their folder in class and there'd be a pancake in there.
See,
Oh,
that's
I like
random
that
and
kind of
clever.
joke.
Yeah, it was just weird
It's
stuff.
abstract humor.
Yeah.
That's abstract.
Mm.
I
It's-
actually would enjoy
I
that
enjoy
because I'd
that.
eat that pancake.
And also,
Mhm.
it's a healthy snack.
Yeah.
well,
So-
healthy
No,
snack.
did stuff like
pancakes
that.
I wish were
Uh-huh.
healthy.
Yeah.
Fiber.
They're not.
Oh,
Depends on how
right.
you
Yeah.
put it, I guess.
And then the community theater, we'd play tricks like this one poor girl we were doing a show called Wind in the Willows. Do you know
Mhm.
that?
I know the
Yes.
book.
Rare Rabbit and all that.
Mhm.
She for some reason I forgot what she played, but she had to sit in a chair and get tied up by Mr. Toad.
Mhm.
And we really tied her up.
Oh.
So she had to hop off the stage, with a chair on her back. And so, so we did, on stage during a real performance. So
Tricky.
we would, do little, not super mean, but,
Sure.
Did anyone ever get
meanish.
back at you with something?
I think
I'm sure they did.
think
Yeah.
that you wanted to laugh, yeah, And
did
there
wanna
was
laugh.
maybe not a lot of opportunity to laugh, and so you had to create your own opportunities to laugh.
Well, I don't know if that's true.
Okay.
I don't know where you're getting
Yeah,
all
you
that.
really
You're
just
really
made up
digging
a-
in.
Why wouldn't you have
Well,
an
you know,
opportunity to laugh?
Because when I grew up, nothing was funny and nobody laughed.
But that's
And
you.
That's
Mm.
me. But I'm saying I saw myself. I was trying to relate. I was trying to,
And you can.
All right.
and I can't.
And then
I
how did
can't.
you grow up?
She liked fart humor. That was what you thought was funny.
Well,
right?
because I just don't understand really what is
You don't
what is
understand
funny.
jokes,
Because
yeah.
no one told joke. I don't really get it.
She likes sliding on a banana or whatever.
yeah,
Oh.
googly eyes.
But why was it? Your childhood was bad. What happened?
It wasn't bad. I grew up in the church and a pastor, and it
And-
wasn't very little education.
We
and-
played tricks in church too,
Oh, see.
which is
Okay.
then I don't know if you
Different
ever did.
churches.
I don't know if you ever did this, but we would take when it's time to sing and everyone stands up with hymnal, we would then take our hymnal and put it on the seat in front of us. So when the person would sit down, they would sit on a hymnal and they'd stand up again real quick.
Oh.
Or we would take if there was a purse underneath like the pew, we would
Mhm.
kick it so that it would be down the
Oh.
row.
So
when they
they'd be
went to-
hunting for it and
Yeah.
not know where it is.
And we were always, and then you'd have to sign this thing at the beginning or at sometime during the service, that you attended, and
Mhm.
if you need like something, and we would always sign my mother up to have like the pastor come visit her or something.
Oh.
and
And now, when you were kicking the purses down the pews, would you have to keep a straight face? 'Cause
Yes.
You can't laugh in
No,
church.
you can't laugh, 'cause
But this
you-
was great training for you later to
It was
not
great,
break.
yeah.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
wow.
fun, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God! Wait,
Yeah.
so you'd sign your mother up for these?
We would do-
pastor
yeah, and,
visits,
like,
and
one
would they
time-
show up? The
Yeah,
next
he
week?
would show up, and then it would be like, and then they'd have small talk for quite a while, and then mom would go like, "I just not for nothing, but I'm not sure why you're
Oh
here."
no!
And then he'd go, "Well, you asked for me to come here."
And then when she go, Michael,
Yeah.
she would know
Or
if
we
she
would do
figured it out. At some
Or we
point.
would do something like, "It's my birthday today. I'm 35," and like with exclamation points, and she was like 45.
Oh,
But so we would just do
oh my
mean
God.
things that happened, so she didn't know. So
Okay. So
it
your
was
life
really
was
fun.
full of laughter, but you couldn't get enough.
I couldn't
So,
get
yeah.
enough.
Okay. Great.
He's
Okay.
clever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So, all right. So then you're in the Chicago area
Yeah.
at this point, and
Doing community theater.
doing community theater and
Uh-huh.
stuff. And then what happens
After that?
you graduate, and what do you do?
Oh, so yeah, and so then I did high school plays too,
Yeah.
but like those of us in the community theater always thought we were a little bit better than just the normal high school
Sure.
kids,
Got
which is
it.
really stupid.
Mhm.
And then I also did like speech team and all that.
I'm sure you
know,
were a
and-
little bit
yeah,
better.
I don't know if we were because we
Okay.
were doing things like Wind in the Willows
Mm.
and a production we wrote ourselves called
These are my favorite.
Let Freedom Ring.
Oh.
And I
Ooh.
played George Washington, and this girl at school saw it, and I said, "Did you like it?" And she goes, "You have skinny legs." Because I had to wear, like the George Washington. And then I started wearing like long underwear and everything. to
But
make my
I
legs
applaud
big.
you
Make 'em seem
writing
bigger.
Yeah.
a play about George Washington yourself.
Well, I didn't write it.
Oh.
Someone else did. And I
Oh.
thought it was kind of dumb.
Oh.
But anyway,
Okay.
yeah, I
You
did it.
Do you remember any lines from that?
I remember I had to talk to Betsy Ross about the flag. I do remember
Oh.
that. And I did ask, this is kind of funny. The lady in charge was named Mrs. Dawson.
Mm.
And I said, Mrs. Dawson, how do I approach George Washington? And she went, be like Murray. Well, Murray was her husband.
Oh.
And Murray came to pick her up when we would all leave, but I never saw Murray. I mean, like I'd have to like
That
study
is-
him when he
Uh-huh.
arrived to pick her up to take her home.
Right, as if you know what bird.
Yeah,
Murray's
it was
like.
crazy. And then later in life, in my senior year, I played Jesus and Godspell at the high school,
Oh.
Great.
which
I
was
enjoy that
big
musical.
deal.
Yeah.
Standing O's every
Huge.
night.
Oh,
Don't even worry
yes,
about it.
Mhm.
Yes.
But
Day by day.
Yeah. all those songs.
you. Yeah.
So I got a call from her saying, "Can you come over and visit me? I need you." And now, granted, she didn't direct this play. This was high school. She just did the community theater.
Okay.
So I went over there, and
Boy.
because I played Jesus, she wanted me to hold her hand because she had shingles, and she was in bed. She was in bed, going like, "Yeah, oh!" And then,
Oh my God.
oh, thank you for coming over. Oh. And I was, 17, and I wanted to laugh in her face. It was the craziest thing
Mhm.
ever.
You were
And
Jesus.
because apparently
you
she thought I had
played
magical
Jesus.
powers
Yeah.
because I played Jesus.
Oh.
And the only reason I got Jesus is I prayed to God that if I got the part, I wouldn't masturbate anymore ever. And so, yeah.
Okay.
And
best story
and that
ever.
lasted about
Mic
a
drop.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Month's pretty good
Yeah.
for a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
actually.
This whole
After you got the
story.
part.
It's amazing.
I need to just take a
Yeah.
moment.
I
Wow.
but can I just say a quick public service announcement? If you're over 50, you got to get your shingles vaccine.
Yeah.
You
true.
got to. It is it's the most painful, awful thing you can get.
Because shingles doesn't
Get it.
care.
Shingles doesn't care.
Shingrex.
Yeah.
Shingles, you got to get it.
Shingles doesn't
It's going to
care.
come and get you.
Could
Shingles
she
will
have
come
given
for
you shingles by holding her hand?
It was on her back.
Oh,
So yeah,
still.
they are.
Yeah,
the-
transmittory.
yeah. So she didn't get the really awful ones that are like on your face or anything.
Do you
but-
know that the guy that plays Jesus on some show called The Chosen,
Uh-huh.
which is apparently hugely
Oh, it's big. It's huge. You would know about that, Felicity.
Yeah, The Chosen.
yeah,
you
huge.
would watch
Yes,
it
I'm
constantly.
a fan. I'm a fan.
Well, he now, the actor who plays that, is like kind of the same. Religious people have
People
him on the
think of
show.
him.
Like they
Oh.
just think
Mm.
he is. And it's like,
Mhm.
he's an actor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
Get
so
it straight.
did college come into the picture?
Yes. After high school, I went to Northwestern University.
Oh,
that's a
and
good
I did
school.
radio, TV, film.
Ooh, that's a good
Mm.
one.
So you were good in school then to go to Northwestern. You must have been getting some pretty decent
I don't know. That
grades.
must have been a year where they let anybody
Northwestern
in.
is.
Oh.
I don't know. And then radio, TV, film department at Northwestern. I don't know about now, but then it was called Playground of the Dummies. So it was probably the easiest one to get into at Northwestern. But that's the only one I wanted to get into.
It's
Who doesn't
highly
wanna be?
respected. So
Anyway, so I did Northwestern, and then I moved out here and did UCLA grad school, the
Ooh,
film
wow,
department.
look
out
at
here.
Whoa.
you.
What?
So, and I kind of did that, and I don't recommend it. I only did that to kind of to see if I liked LA, because I thought, well, if I go to college some more, I can
Yeah.
figure out if I even like this town. And
Right.
honestly, I didn't.
No.
Mm.
It's difficult.
It took a while to
Mhm.
like LA.
Do you like it now?
I do.
Yeah.
But it took a long time. And the
Mhm.
reason why is I joined an improv group, sketch group, took classes at a place called the Groundlings.
Oh, we've heard of it.
We've heard of
And
it.
Mhm.
You've heard of it? Okay. It's on, and they kind of became my tribe.
Oh.
And that's sort of how that
And
all
is it
happened.
right that you take classes and you kind of move your way up the ranks in the classes and that's
Yeah,
how you
You-
become
you
a
do
member?
that. Yeah.
And you
Mhm.
became a member of the
I became a
Groundlings.
member eventually. Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
judged by
Mhm.
people.
I was judged
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you came to improvisation not knowing anything about it.
Not knowing much. Yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, I grew up in Chicago. They have an excellent sketch comedy group called Second City.
Right.
And I grew up watching that.
Okay.
Watching
So
that.
I was very familiar with what they did
I see.
and loved it. And so when I found out that LA had their own version, not Second City, but
Mhm.
sketch comedy. And at the
Mhm.
time, that was kind of the only game in town. That was long before
Mhm.
UCB came here, or at the time, like Improv Olympic and all that. That did
Mhm.
not exist then.
Hmm.
And we're in the mix of UCLA, Groundlings, all this time when you're newly in LA. Where in the mix do you start working? Like getting a TV
Oh.
job? Does that take longer than
It
that?
takes a
or-
long time. Yeah,
Okay.
I after graduating UCLA, the first thing I could get was a temp job.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like I won awards at UCLA and all that stuff, and I got a temp job because I could type kind of fast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Jeez.
And then I found out later that they lied on my typing test, that he felt sorry for me and bumped up the score
Oh.
because I really wasn't. I mean, I could type, but I wasn't amazing.
Mhm.
You must have been
Um,
pretty cute.
I don't know.
You
I
still
always thought it was
are.
awkward.
You still are.
But one of my
That's
first
why women
jobs,
wanted to hold your hand.
yeah, one of my first jobs at that company, it was Embassy Home Entertainment, but before that, it was Embassy. This doesn't make sense. There was a
does.
company called Embassy,
Yes.
and they had many divisions,
Yes.
including television, film, and home entertainment.
Mm.
I eventually landed in the home entertainment division, but I started weirdly for a couple of weeks driving Norman Lear around town
Oh.
Wow.
because his regular driver broke his arm.
Wow.
So
This
that
was a temp job?
yeah, that was a temp job.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
So-
pressure to drive a figure like
Oh,
that.
it was. I
Ooh.
practiced. I went to his house ahead of time, found out where he lived, which is, fancy part of LA,
Mhm.
and practiced like, okay, how do I get onto the Sunset Boulevard?
Mhm.
Because their offices were at Universal Studios.
Mm.
And so and on my first day of driving him, he said, "Do you know LA?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." And then when I pulled out of the driveway, I turned right, and he went, left, you who know LA.
Oh,
And I thought, oh boy, this isn't off to a good start.
Mm.
And then I was so nervous that when I went to Universal, I pulled in the wrong
Oh.
gate. I pulled into where you go up to take the tour because I'd been a tour guide, and I was just so
Oh.
used to being
Yeah.
Sure.
going the tour route.
Mhm.
And then so I didn't have a great first impression, but he ended up liking me.
Did he drop just lots of wisdom on you?
He was pretty cool, I have to say. You could ask him questions and stuff,
Oh.
and he always sat in front with you. He didn't sit in the back like you
Oh,
were his chauffeur.
interesting. Which
Yeah.
actually more nerve wracking in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
'cause
you
can
who
just
know
watch
LA.
him.
Yeah, you who know. Yeah, he turned out to be great, and then he would hire me from time to time after I temped for him to drive him to special events. And he always tipped
Oh.
really well.
How
and
cool is
Did
that?
you
Yeah.
ever get to work with him later in life as an actor?
Never,
Dang it.
which is too bad.
Did he
yeah.
know you were an
Mhm.
actor?
No, I don't think
He
knew anything
probably
about it.
assumed.
I think he thought there was a nice college kid, and that was the end
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
Well,
But
now
yeah,
he's
that
probably
was-
seen auditions of yours come across, and he says, "That's a
No,
driver.
no, thanks.
That's a
That's my
driver. I know
driver."
a
No,
driver
thanks.
when I
Don't
see
need
one."
that.
Yeah.
Boo.
Boo.
Yeah. So isn't that a weird first job?
And that was
That's
before
cool.
the cell phone, because these days, if you got a job driving somebody like that, they'd just probably be on the phone. That's it. But this was during a time where you would talk to people in
Mhm.
cars.
Yeah, you talk to him in the cars,
Mhm.
and that his regular driver read scripts, so it was a good job to get. Like he would
Oh.
read scripts and then tell Norman what he thought of them. So it wasn't just driving him. He, that's what he would do when he wasn't driving him.
Oh.
Mhm.
So it was like, ooh, that sounds kind of cool.
Very.
Wow.
But yeah, his driver
Wowie.
ended up getting better. And I
Oh.
ended up
Mhm.
moving to the home entertainment division, which was fine. And that was my first job. And then that's when I joined the Groundlings at night. So I would take off
Okay.
my shirt, nice shirt and tie, and put
Mhm.
on a t-shirt or whatever, and go do improv classes and
Mhm.
do that at night.
A t-shirt
then-
and some chinos. or
Yeah, kind of
jeans.
whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe not chinos.
Now,
just
sometimes
not
when
chinos.
people
Yeah.
go, get a formal acting training, this is what we've learned in interviews. They it sometimes be a hard jump for them into improvisation because they're so used to learning lines.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And was that a difficult transition for you, or easy peasy?
Yeah, it didn't seem to be a problem.
Because
then.
he was
He was a-
tricky.
he was a
and-
prankster.
He was a prankster.
Although I have to say, though, at the beginning, improv classes were fun. And then I started taking an outside class and I got super nervous about it.
Mm.
And there was a point where I thought, like, this isn't for me. I'm not good.
Mhm.
I quit.
Mm.
And then after about maybe 6 weeks of not doing it, I thought, well, nobody cares if I go or I don't. And I'm only hurting myself.
That's
Yeah.
kind of a lesson for
So,
life.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
great.
it's a class
Mhm.
you're supposed to learn.
Yeah.
Right.
So I went
Mhm.
back, and that's when it kind of
Wow.
started to go like, okay,
I'll click.
We're
That's
all
a
here to
drop of
learn.
wisdom.
yeah.
And you probably found your people there.
Yeah, I did.
That's what he
Yeah.
said. His
Yeah.
tribe.
My
It's
tribe.
tribe.
Yeah, try.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, okay. When was the first time where you could support yourself from doing not temping or typing?
Oh, well, I mean, I
That
got this
wasn't a
book.
joke. It
With-
wasn't a
Temping and
funny joke.
typing.
Well, with Embassy Home Entertainment, I ended up being like in the marketing division, and it was a full-time job.
Oh.
Mhm.
But I ended up finally, I think after about 4 years of that, and I mean, I got to go to like Cannes Film Festival. I got to do really cool
That's
things
cool.
because we would buy the movies and then put them on home video.
Right.
Mhm.
And make deals with other companies and stuff.
Wow.
But I thought, like, if I keep at this is going to be it.
Mhm.
And so I ended up leaving that and striking out on my own, and
Mhm.
definitely struggled for a while and all that. But yeah, that's sort of how it started. And then my first real professional good job was a movie called Waiting for Guffman that Christopher Guest directed, and it was an all improv movie.
Yeah.
And that took place about community theater. And I got it, I think, because when I had an interview with him, I talked about my days doing community theater.
Mhm.
And so that's sort of how that happened. And he saw me do an all improv show at the Groundlings. And that's
Mm.
how I got the interview.
Wow.
Which, if you've ever seen Michael Hitchcock, if you haven't, get some tickets the next time he's at the Groundlings, because we have. And
Mm.
he's probably one of the best,
The best.
improvisers in the world.
the
What?
best of the best.
Really?
Now, when
I
you
never saw
made
you there.
this,
You were in the audience.
Oh,
it's
Yeah.
true. Waiting for Guffman. Did you have any idea what it was going to be?
well, he told us ahead of time that it would be, about community theater.
Mhm.
And originally I was going to play a different part, and then at some point they switched me to being part of the town council. And then when the way Christopher Guest works is you have like a couple of interviews ahead of time about what do you want to do.
What
and
do
I s-
you
and
want to do?
What do I want to do for the character?
Wow.
And I
Wow.
said, well, I would like to work at a pharmacy, because when I was a kid, I did work at a pharmacy, so I
Mm.
knew a lot about that.
Mm.
And then I said, and I think I want to be secretly in love with you. And he kind of went, okay. And then, so that's how that happened. But and there's an outline, but I thought like when we would do these interviews, these kind of, fake interviews, that he would feed me questions, and that never happened. It was just like, okay, go. And I remembered it was an improv technique that we would do in class called ruminating. I thought, well, this is like ruminating. So just
Mm.
start talking, and
And
I think,
interesting stuff
yeah.
comes out.
and then stuff came out. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's sort of how that all went
But
down.
did you know, and I think this is part of what you meant, did you have any sense this
How
is going to be
beloved.
huge?
Yeah.
No, not at
Yeah.
No.
all. We thought it was just a little independent movie, and didn't think much about it after it was done. And then when it first got released, I remember Variety gave it like a so-so review. And then, it went to the smaller theaters, and then it just kept playing and playing and playing, and it never stopped.
Mhm.
And then they kind of knew something was up. And then Variety re-reviewed it
Oh.
and gave it a great review.
Oh boy.
And that's how
That's
that all went
embarrassing
down.
for
Yeah.
them.
So isn't that interesting?
Yes, very.
Yeah, it was just a little.
But like, what a
Yeah.
what a cool club to be in.
Oh.
My God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
those
very, very
people.
lucky and privileged for
Yeah.
that.
Wow.
Because
Mm.
you've gotten to work with them again
Yeah.
over the
Mhm.
It's
years.
kind of like a fun family reunion.
Yeah. Is
we
anything
get to do.
brewing with that fam?
Not right now. I
Not
think
right now.
Christopher went back with Rob Reiner this last year, and they're doing Spinal Tap 2.
Mhm.
So that's what he's been working on lately.
Mm.
But there's
That's fun.
something about these improvised movies, and I've watched a couple, and where the actors, you really see them finding their words in the moment in a way that I
Yeah.
think on a scripted thing, it's just a different energy. It's a
Yeah.
different sort of performance.
And what's nice about film and improv movies is that what I like about the way he does it is like he doesn't want any agents there, no managers, no suits, nothing. So that you have permission to fail, you have
Pure
permission
creative.
to find it.
Wow.
And those sometimes when you're doing the interviews, you just keep going, and he kind of wants you to hit that wall and go through the wall. So that's kind of anything that maybe you thought of ahead of time is out the window,
Yeah.
and
Right.
that's usually ends up what he ends up using.
Wow.
So that's
Wow.
pretty cool. Yeah.
How
Wow.
often now do you? Because I think like these ladies said, they'd love to have some fame, fortune.
Mm.
Give
But you
back
don't,
free.
you don't want it.
But
Free
they're
things.
I don't care.
Okay.
She's
But-
not impressed.
I'm not impressed by any of it. But they they're not great at auditioning because they're needy.
Oh.
And
yeah.
you can feel it.
Oh.
I'm
Yeah.
curious how many jobs do you get that are just hey, so and so wants to know if you'll do this small part in this thing or a big part in this thing.
I'd say about half, and then I have to
So this
audition
is-
the other half.
See, this
Yeah.
is where these two gotta get.
Um,
You gotta get to a point where.
But
you're
I
being
want to ask,
asked.
if
Yeah.
I do an audition, I want to ask right away, did I get it?
Maybe don't do that. Yeah, you don't want to seem too needy.
I say I
Mhm.
deserve to know.
Mm-hmm.
Please
Yeah,
tell me.
You can go ask your friend that, but don't do that.
Don't
with
ask
the
them.
people.
See, that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I know it's hard.
Yeah.
But I think, so that's not, oh God, is it ever get old to get a call to say, hey, we want you to do this thing in this movie? Does that feel great?
It feels great.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
nice. It's nice to be
Have you
wanted.
ever said,
Yeah.
no thanks?
I'm sure you get
I
some
have a
weird
couple
ones.
times if they're really bad scripts. And
Yeah.
it's always weird because you want to work,
Mm-hmm.
and then if it's really bad, you're like, oh, okay, maybe we don't do this
I
one.
can't do it.
Yes.
Yeah, but then again, I'll turn around and do one that's terrible because I just wanted to work.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I don't always have the best judgment sometimes.
We would do everything and anything.
I
Really?
might-
Yeah.
We would.
Anything
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
everything.
like nudity
Anything.
and
Oh my-
stripping. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
I
already
wouldn't.
half nude. All
I'd
the
like
time
to be
anyways.
nude
I
now,
wouldn't
but
do
she
that.
doesn't want it.
I don't want it.
yeah.
No.
Your
There's
head-
nothing wrong with nudity. I don't
No.
mean that. I meant pornos.
Mm.
Maybe don't do that.
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I see.
at least
Whatever.
if you are going to do it, maybe do like your own content so you get all the money.
Yes,
not,
that's
yeah.
where we're leading.
I
Yeah.
mean, the bottom line
OnlyFans.
is if it equals a bag full of creams and lotions, you'll do it.
Sure.
So if a
Mhm.
porn movie equals swag bags,
Mhm.
yeah.
I think you'd do it,
Yeah.
Okay.
right?
Yeah, if my face wasn't shown.
Oh.
Oh.
Interesting. Just your
I
bod.
could wear
Sure.
like a Mardi Gras mask or something.
Oh, that's
Oh.
fine. But now, see,
Yeah.
everyone's gonna know when it's you because they're gonna
Mhm.
be like Mardi Gras
Mardi Gras
mask.
mask.
Wow.
Lana.
Okay.
Have you heard the old joke? I auditioned for a porno, but my part was too small.
Oh,
Ah,
I've not
I
heard
like
that.
that. I get that one.
Yeah.
I
You
got
get
it.
it. You got that joke. You don't get a lot of
Yeah.
jokes, but
I
you get it.
I got that one.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a naughty part in the
So,
thing.
yeah.
Sorry about that.
Well, for
audience.
women, you don't necessarily want your down theirs to be big.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
You don't
something-
women don't want a huge vagina?
Labius is the outside.
Mhm.
That's not what I've heard.
Okay.
Okay.
You
I've had plenty of
rocking those.
Yeah. There's a
I have-
buyer for every house.
That's
That's
true. That's
Right?
I've got a
true.
lot of
Mhm.
pleased partners who say, "Whoa."
You got a
I've
lot
had
going
a
on down there.
lot of people living in my house.
Okay.
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 Anyways,
So where are we going? Like,
Well,
Where are
can
we
we,
going?
Yeah.
can we stop for a second detour or go back, reverse to the groundling
Mhm.
stage? And
Oh.
were there characters? What sort of people did you play there?
Pretty much a little bit of everything.
versatile.
Yeah.
I mean,
Versatile.
you know what's great I think about being an improviser is that
What?
you came in being able to dance, sing, act already, so you can get up there and you can sing and you can dance and you can do all these kinds of things as an improviser, right?
Well, I mean, I was Jesus in Godspell. I love to sing, but I'm really not very good at it, so I always feel bad. The audience is a little bit tortured,
I've seen you
but
sing.
I love to sing.
Yeah.
So I will sing at the drop of a hat.
Mm.
But I like characters go, like some of them hit really well. Like a friend of mine, Tim Bagley, and I did Siegfried and Roy, which was a big hit. But they were still alive, obviously.
Mhm.
But then you try other things that just bomb.
Mhm.
And one time, an actress named Mindy Sterling, who you all know and love from Austin Powers, she played the Frau. We played from Mary Poppins, the children, Jane and Michael Banks,
Oh my
talking about, it was called Mayor Poppins and what we'd look for in a new mayor. And the audience was like, what are these old people doing? And why are they dressed in
Oh,
pajamas?
I love it.
And so, yeah, it was,
Yeah.
sometimes it just bombs.
Oh.
But what I think that what I enjoy so much is how hard you will commit to these things. I heard a story
Yeah.
about you. I wasn't there, but I heard a story of one of your improvised performances where you were maybe a helicopter and
Oh,
spun
I know which
spun
one.
right
I was
off
a
of-
human tornado.
Oh,
It's
and
fun right off
and
the
it's
stage.
it wasn't about commitment. I for some reason closed my eyes, and as I was twirling, I flew off the stage and almost into the band. I missed, but I did land in somebody's, in the front row.
oh my
Yeah,
I was,
luckily.
I was there that night.
Oh, but
Hopefully
it's those
that
things.
person
No,
had a
it's that thing
large
where the
labia.
audience is sort of having fun, and then it's like, oh,
Oh.
and then they're hoping that the man
That
didn't
you're
have a
okay.
stroke or that
Yeah.
you didn't break your
Sure.
leg.
Sure.
Luckily, I was okay.
Sure.
One question that has come
Mm.
up surrounding improv.
Mhm.
Some people don't think it's real. Some people think it's all
Oh.
You
planned.
Has
planned
that
it ahead of
question
time.
come out?
Yes. What would your answer to that be?
Well, if it's a bad show, maybe they did plan it.
Right.
yeah, but-
that's a good answer.
But the whole thing is not to plan it and
of
to try
course.
to just, yeah.
But there's people
Mm.
who can't wrap their mind around it.
No, they can't.
Well, I
believe
think,
it.
but then I think you have to think it's like tennis. It takes a while. Everyone practices. You just
Mhm.
don't start and you're great.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of drilling everything, and
Interesting.
Yeah.
then you get better and better and better.
Mhm.
And I mean, when I was first starting, it would be like, things bombed, and then it was okay,
Mhm.
and then you bombed, and then it was okay, and then after a while, it's like, all right, if it bombs, it's not the end of the world. I'm still here.
That's a
And-
good
That's a
lesson for
great
life.
attitude.
Yeah.
Do you have any? It feels like you've gotten to do so many things in your career. Is there any dreams yet to be realized? Anything you want to do?
Are you asking if he's completely just done and has achieved everything?
No, that's something you just asked.
Because I want him to
asked-
promise to live.
What
Well,
are you
I mean, I think-
talking about? I'm curious if he has any dreams and goals.
I
dare
would
you.
love
Stop
to land on
fighting.
a show where I'm can really get into a character and be there a lot and
Mhm.
just
Meaty.
I play a lot of people that are kind of obnoxious and kind of get their comeuppance, which are fun to play.
Yes.
But it would be nice to sometimes play someone who
Yeah.
maybe isn't always obnoxious and always gets their comeuppance.
Yeah, maybe we just like
Mm.
them.
Yeah, maybe we just like them, or
Mhm.
they're
Uh-huh.
complicated.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, something like that.
I'll write you something.
We're going to
Thank
put that
you.
into the world for
What
you.
Yeah, let's put it
shows
out in
the
are you
world.
on now?
I'm on a new Netflix show called Nobody Wants This, starring Kristen Bell
Oh.
and Adam Brody. It's really
Oh,
funny.
yes.
It
and
comes
really
out
like-
next
Billboards
week
are
or this week.
everywhere.
It's coming out
Friday, maybe.
I don't know when this podcast is airing, but
The
September
podcast is
26th.
evergreen. So whoever's
Ah,
listening,
right.
Yes.
go
Yeah.
back and find Nobody
Yes,
Wants This.
it's Nobody
starring-
Wants This,
It
God,
looks
Kristen
fanta-
Bell
it
is
looks
a-
really
is
good.
and I
a
play
talent.
Kristen Bell's kind of deadbeat dad.
Mm.
So he's a guy that means well, but doesn't show up that often, and when he does, he kind of causes a little trouble. And so it's a fun part to
Oh,
play.
that's great.
And I'm also in a movie called Jackpot right now, which is on Amazon with
Oh, sure.
John Cena and Aquafina. And
Oh,
it's
those
a
I
lot of
saw
fun.
it.
Those are
I
megawatt
saw it and I enjoyed it.
stars.
Lots of action.
And what part
comedy.
do you play in that?
I play an obnoxious talent manager
That's
who
right.
puts her through the ringer, and then
Wow.
later I'm hunting her down along with everyone else in LA
Yeah.
because that's the plot.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see
These
this.
are great.
Oh, it's
roles.
great.
These are
It's a great
great
movie.
projects.
Yeah,
That's
you
fun,
get
yeah.
fun stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're at the time we have to start wrapping up. It goes so fast.
Oh,
It's terrible.
I know. Well, but we got a couple things to do with you. First, what advice would you give to a youngin coming out here wanting to act, wanting to improv, wanting to do all those things?
And
What
if
would you
things
say?
were not going their way, how do they keep from not promising to live?
Oh,
Oh, how
well,
do they
hopefully you'll send them one of your cards.
Yes.
yes, that's the first thing.
I don't know why that's a joke.
Well, I think
So,
the joke
Why
is
is it
that
hard not
if
to-
Oh my.
Yeah, you really changed the whole question here.
If it's specifically to LA, and I guess this would also go for New York, but a lot of people come out here and they think, oh, I'll just try it. or something like that. Like, no, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it.
Mhm.
And I would treat LA like college. You're
Mm.
going to have to take more classes, and you need to know that that's going to cost you money.
Mm.
So if you don't have the money saved, save it before you move out here. Make sure you absolutely have a car.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And know that you're not going to go get an agent the second you arrive, or maybe not for a couple of years.
Mm.
It takes a very long time, and that's okay.
Mhm.
The process is the adventure. It's really not, that's
Mhm.
what you
It's
have
all
to
an
enjoy.
adventure. Yeah. Yeah.
So you're going to have a real job. You're going to have enough money to pay the rent and pay the car and pay for classes.
Mhm.
And I would also not get too stuck doing the same thing all the time. Like I think speaking of improv, some people, all they do is take improv classes, and that's one tool in the tool belt.
Mhm.
You also need to take, scene study
Yeah.
and cold
Mhm.
reading and all sorts of things. And I would recommend for every actor, find a thing you're not so great at and take that class.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah. There's always a way
yeah.
to get better.
Yeah.
Scary.
And there's like the old saying, if you see a sign that says actors wanted, it's probably for a class.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not for an audition.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But a lot of times people think, well, I don't really need to do that, or I don't have the money to do that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And you're going to have to find the money to do it.
You got to
Mhm.
figure
Or
it out.
figure
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah.
Or take free classes somewhere.
Mhm.
And they are offered at places.
Yeah.
I like this because sometimes we get advice that's very follow your dreams, follow your heart. But this, you're giving actual
very
action items,
practical.
Yeah.
which
Mhm.
said, sure, do that.
No.
But the way you do that is
Right.
by lining yourself up in a way to
Mhm.
be able to do it.
And
Mhm.
honestly, it's follow your dreams is great, but this is the hardest profession in the world. It'd be easier. When I went to film school
Yeah.
and I went through all my grad school, on the way out, the guy in charge said, "Oh, you could have been a doctor." And it was like, well, thank you for that piece of advice.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
good luck, bye.
You could make
And
some
it's-
money, but
so-
you're not going to now.
Right. So,
Yeah.
so yes, that's absolutely
Mhm.
true. So if this isn't your passion, maybe don't pursue it.
Yes.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
but y'all have to be a little bit crazy to do it.
Yeah.
kind of.
I
Absolutely.
think so. A little
But
bit.
can't think about it too hard, or you will go
Cuckoo.
cuckoo.
Before I'm going to give you a little gift before we're going to
Oh,
do one more
is it a
thing.
Yeah, we
Cream?
have to.
Wow.
This is
sort of.
our favorite deodorant, and we
Oh.
work with this company called Curie, and it's a natural deodorant. It's the only natural deodorant that actually works.
Wow.
Smells great, helps with perspiration,
Mm.
helps with deodorizing, all the things. And these are little they're travel ones.
Mhm.
Do they
I'ma
sponsor
go.
you all?
No,
of.
we're trying to make them,
Oh, okay.
but they did give us a code,
Mm.
okay.
and it's MTW Curie.
It smells so
MTW
fresh.
Curie, like Madame
MTW
Curie.
Curie. Yes.
Yeah.
Madam Curie.
Sometimes women sweat a little bit in this region.
I thought you were going to put it up your.
Well, don't you have
Oh.
to take it out of the thing?
Oh no, it is.
No, that's how it
Oh,
works. Isn't that cute?
Now I'm gonna be fresh with Curie.
Anyways, I'm giving you two flavors. Not
Flavors.
flavors because you're not eating them, but white tea and coconut nectar, and you get to have
Ooh,
those.
I have the
thank
white
you.
tea
And they're
it
great
is
for
so
travel,
fresh.
and they're
I wanna
great for the
smell it.
gym, and they're great for
Ooh. Ooh.
I like that because a lot of times hippies have solutions
Twist
and
the
they,
top.
they
Crystals.
always
They
smell
don't work.
bad.
They don't work.
Doesn't work.
Oh.
It's like they rub a rock underneath their
It's
pits.
really true.
Yeah.
But these actually work.
Okay.
You'll enjoy
There's-
them. You'll
Good.
enjoy.
that
But
smells
okay,
good.
before we end, since you're an improviser, we
Oh.
always with our improviser friends,
Oh,
we
great.
ask, "What's your favorite improv game?" And we'd
Oh.
love to learn it. Do you have a favorite improv game?
A
We're trying to
favorite
learn.
improv game.
These two are trying to.
I
get better
love
at it.
3-word story
Yeah.
as a warm up.
Great.
let's
Let's
do it.
try
That's
that.
Perfect.
that's really fun. Who's gonna start?
You,
and which
'cause
way
you're
do we
pro.
go?
Oh,
That
I'm
you're gonna
nervous.
start and we're gonna go this
Okay,
way.
I'm gonna- okay.
I'm
Um,
nervous.
Carol went
Side where she
Found a little.
Family of aliens.
She petted them.
on the head.
And fed them.
Alien type food.
The aliens couldn't believe.
The delicious meal.
They said,
The lady said,
Boy, these aliens are.
Trouble. I'm gonna.
beat myself.
The end.
"Yay!"
You did the best you've ever done, Lana.
That was really
I
excellent.
tried so hard.
Because a lot of times she just says crazy things in
Mhm.
order to.
Mhm.
I don't know
Really?
why you do
Because it needs every story needs to have conflict and drama. Is what I
Right.
was told.
Okay.
it. Yeah.
But then someone said
enough.
in improv you have to yes and. I
That's
don't know
right.
how
You
to
do have
do
to
it.
yes and.
Yeah.
I think I did 4 words accidentally.
But that
once.
that
It
doesn't
happens.
matter.
That
It
doesn't
did.
matter.
I
Yes,
thought
you
we
keep
had
it going.
stopped at one point, but it was still going. And so I lost.
You got confused.
I got confused.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about this podcast.
Right. Well,
Well,
speaking of which, those of you who can stay for the next 5 minutes, we're going to do our Patreon. Our Patreon is the portion where you got to pay very little money for very big, great stuff.
big content.
And we're going to do the Patreon starting now.
Thank you, Michael Hitchcock.
Thank you for having me.
It's about
Well, I think
her.
I did. I think
Yeah.
one of my big characters at the Groundlings was someone called Burl Dawson, and he was a drama teacher, and like
Uh-huh.
The male
a
version
lot
her.
of it had to do with her,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and then a drunk professor at Northwestern
Oh.
who was horrible.
Oh.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
we kind of combined them.
Multiple Talking Women is produced and hosted by Ariane Price, Lauren Burns, and Lisa Sherga. Subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on all podcast platforms, and become a member of our Patreon. All right, am I done?